It's happening. Shit's getting real. This is Sophia Musto, and I am so excited to have you here to share my stories with you because life is full of flavor. The purpose of the Zensetter podcast is storytelling, and I want to hear your story, and thank you for listening to mine. You're going to meet so many amazing friends along the way, so thanks for being here. Namaste and hairspray. Namaste and hairspray, and welcome back to the Zensetter podcast. I'm Sophia Musto, and I'm so happy that you are here again, coming back for episode 4. Can you believe it? I'm sticking with it. I didn't let fear hold me back. I didn't let anything stop me. Right, honey? And I'm really excited to introduce you to my very first guest, and I'm going to just let him take over. So, introduce yourself for me.
I'm Pat, and...
How do I know you, Pat?
Well, we're married.
Okay, so today I have my husband, Pat, on the podcast. I wanted him to be my first guest because he is so supportive of all my dreams. He makes them my reality, and he never lets me let fear hold me back or anything. And with everything that we're discussing, I wanted to show you all the happy moments now in our life. So this is Pat's first podcast, right?
That's right.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah.
So what kind of podcast do you listen to?
Contractor podcasts, Little Jocko.
Little Jocko. Okay. So you would listen to contractor podcasts because that's an interest. Like, tell us about what you do for a living.
Well, I waterproof basements and, make home renovations, stuff like that.
Okay. So, do you work for somebody or do you own your own business?
I do own a business and just work for myself and my wonderful customers.
I'm really proud of Pat. I'm going to sidebar for a moment. Pat is not bragging about himself enough, so I'm going to take over and brag for him. Pat is an entrepreneur just like me, and I am so proud of him because his passion project has been to start his own business, Drift, waterproofing and renovations. And when he came up with Drift, what did that mean?
That means I like to do things right the first time.
Yeah, so that was really creative of you to create a saying and logo to represent your brand. You do it right the first time. You married me and one and done, and you were lucky to get a wife like me the first time.
You're right. Did it right the first time.
Oh, Pat and I have been married for 14 years, and we're both entrepreneurs. And Pat is a big part of the Zensetter podcast. He is behind the scenes. Sometimes everybody thinks it's a one and done show, and Pat's humbly sitting here not showing everything he's done. He has helped paint. He stayed here and worked all hours of the night to expand my bathroom, and he is an artist on top of that. So he helped with logos designs, he helped with fine-tuning things, and helping to set me up. So let's get into fun stuff to talk about. Do you like being an entrepreneur?
I love it.
What's your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Just freedom to be yourself and to kind of create whatever you're put here to create.
Yeah. So would you say that you're successful now that you have your own business?
Yep, absolutely.
Because success basically is a feeling, just like freedom.
Yep. Success is waking up every day, enjoying your day, and also having money to do things that you want to do.
Yeah, and it feels good when you're making your own decisions and you have your own integrity and ethics at the end of the day. I really pride you on that. You really do a good job.
Well, thank you.
So I'm going to read a card with my audience today. So I was hoping that you would help me pick one.
Sure.
So I read cards at home all the time, and Pat thinks, as you can see, Pat is not into the woo-woo. Like I said, I am not for everybody, but you're so supportive, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I like the cards. They something good to think about, usually.
Okay, pick one for the audience today. Pick one. Okay, let's see. Let's see what Pat picked for you. The special message. Read it to our audience, Pat.
I am at home in my body.
Whoa, that's a good thing to talk about. Say it one more time.
I am at home in my body.
I am at home in my body. That brings us to the fun thing we should be talking about. You know what I'm going to talk about, don't you? 75 hard.
Yep.
So right now, Pat and I have started a challenge called 75 hard. Why don't you tell the audience about what 75 hard is?
Okay, it's kind of like a mental challenge, physical too, but I'd say more mental, with time management and like, you want me to go over the rules of that?
Sure. I see if maybe you will be inspired today to join us on the 75 Hard Challenge. You'll hear later that I've been on a podcast with my friend Shelby, and she's the happy, healthy hairstylist, and she is a badass. She just completed it, and she's on phase 1, and I am so inspired by her. And her goal is to aspire to inspire, and she's definitely doing it. So my husband brought it up because he was part of a community, and tell everybody the rules because I am so proud of us. We're on day 27, by the way.
So basically, you wake up in the morning and take a selfie, take a picture of your whole body, and then you start out by reading 10 pages of a book, self-help book, nonfiction, and you have to drink 1 gallon of water per day at least. 2 45-minute workouts, one outside, at least one outside, and then you basically pick a diet and stick with that, no cheat meals.
And what diet did we pick?
We picked basically whole foods, no breads or anything like that.
No butter, no sugar, and
No
the main part of 75 hard is no booze, baby. That means no alcohol on 4th of July and special occasions and in the summer. So that's been fun and like inspiring to us a lot. It's like really making our summer fun when we thought that like alcohol was an important part of it to like socialize and stuff, that we've been finding some interesting things to do instead.
Yep, it really ups your focus, and it actually just makes life more enjoyable, I think.
Well, I think so too, and I'm lucky to have you in my life to spend it with.
Yeah.
Pat and I have been taking this challenge, and each day we make sure that we get to date each other, and we have one of our 45-minute walks together. So it's been really fun and bonding, and if your partner gets on your nerves, you can just run away. Like, how fun is that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. You can skip walks.
Oh, you could skip walks. Or if someone's being a douche, you can say you have to skip until you're happy.
That's right.
Did we skip on our walks?
Sometimes we run.
Sometimes we run, but skipping is an instant smile starter for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to frown while you're skipping.
Yeah. So do you like podcasting with me?
I do. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. So now I'm gonna have a fun question with you.
Oh, fun.
Ooh, let's do it. What is your favorite memory before we were married?
I would say being on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier, just before we got married. Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you. So, Pat is a disabled Navy veteran, and he served our country, and he lived where?
Primarily Japan.
Give us some Japanese.
Oh, it's been too long.
Oh, no, it's always you
Arigato.
spit it. Oh, you spit it out there.
Arigato.
What is
Thank
the other one? All right, moshi moshi
Moshi moshi.
is how you answer the phone.
Yep. It's like hello.
Yep. So sometimes Pat has a little like Tourette's where Japanese just spits out of him. But my favorite memory when he talks about Japan is, if you are not watching this, my husband is a very handsome man. I'm going to put you on the spot. And when he
Should
went,
be watching.
oh, they should be watching. You hear that? Tune into the YouTube channel. I like that. You're good. All right. So basically, when Pat was in Japan, he stuck out. He was not a normal, he was a minority. So when people couldn't speak English and they were like, oh, you're Woody from Toy Story. And I love that. And the other greatest memory that Pat told me about his time in Japan is when he learned Japanese. There's a distinct, like, dialect between a feminine and a masculine with the language, and Pat always learned from females. So when Pat learned Japanese, he sounded like a woman. He spoke very feminine in a Japanese language.
Right. Yeah.
What was the funniest thing that you said to somebody?
Honestly, I don't really remember what the differences were
No.
between. No, I can't remember. I just remember like certain words. Women said certain words a different way than guys would say a totally different word.
Yeah.
So.
And then the food was completely different for you too.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat is an Irish Italian, but he's an Italian. So this man went from eating pasta to sushi.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing to eat over in Japan?
I would say I like the octopus.
Yeah, I do too. We have that in common.
Octopus was always cool. We'd go to the beach and they would always bring us out raw octopus and soy sauce. It's the best.
Can you take me to that beach?
I know.
We're manifesting that.
And beer.
We can podcast from there one day. What kind of beer?
I used to go with the Corinne.
Corinne, Ichiban. I like that.
Yeah.
So what was the hardest part coming back from Japan to your life here in the States?
The hardest part was coming back, really. Yeah, because I enjoyed Japan. So I would say that, and the food. Switching back to Americanized food and stuff was rough on my stomach.
I bet. That had to be like culture shock for you at first.
Yeah.
So you come back from Japan, and then you're lucky enough later in life that you meet me in my red jacket.
Yeah.
Yep. So Pat and I met by a funny story. Do you want to tell them how we met?
Yeah. Which time? The time.
When I met you, yeah,
Right.
later in life. So sidebar for a second. Pat and I met when I was young, like a teenager, and then luckily the universe brought us back together and reunited us, and we were both single at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was really lucky that he loved not only me, but he loved Sebastian.
Yeah.
I mean, that had to be weird to like start dating a girl in her 20s, and she had a little boy that was 1 year old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that wasn't really weird for me.
And that's when I knew I loved you. Do you remember going to the zoo?
Yep.
Pat is like this rough guy, he had his Marlboro behind his ear, Marlboro hanging out his mouth. He flicked that Marlboro and then went and jumped on those lily pads. And I was like, I'm marrying that man. That man is mine. I love him. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it's a fun picture in our house. Yeah. So now we have 3 children. Let's fast forward. We're together now 15 years.
Yeah.
No, 16 years.
We're 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're still kids. I said to the audience that we're growing yold together, your word.
Yold.
We're growing yold together, young old.
Yeah. Every day we're getting younger.
And one of my favorite things about you is you have a great way of like looking into the future and visualizing how you see us. Tell the audience like one of the things that you visualize for us in the future.
Living on some type of an island on a beach and
I'm there.
riding bikes with our kids at home, at our beach home, around our pool with their kids.
Aw.
We're,
Is it in the U.S.?
I don't know. It's a nice beach though.
It's a nice beach, but we don't know if it's in the
Yeah,
U.S.
it's probably in the U.S. Either, maybe Hawaii.
We just have to travel more and see where that beach is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, just going for our either walk or ride in the afternoon.
Yep. We'll continue to 75 hard it when we're 75.
Yeah, I think so.
And yold.
Yep.
How'd you meet?
Oh, how did we meet?
So we met.
We met at Della Rosa's in White Marsh Mall, White Marsh, Maryland area.
Yep, Della Rosa's in White Marsh.
And it's funny how we met.
Yeah, so my friend and I we had just gotten to Della Rosa's,
Yep.
and we got a couple beers, like pint glasses, and my friend had set his beer on a golden tea machine, and then he turned backwards and like leaned up against the machine, and Sophia like came by and somehow
I spilled the beer on him.
Yeah, knocked his beer over, and it kind of fell like right down his ass crack.
Oh my gosh.
His whole beer like dumped in his ass.
Oh, it looked like he peed his pants. Like, so let me backstack my side. Like, here I am, I'm newly single mom, and I'm like, I'm going to go out by myself, and I'm going to be a badass. And I took my jacket off. Joe put his beer down on the golden tea, and my jacket whipped around. And when I turned around, he's like, ah! And you're like, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm so embarrassed. I am leaving.
Yeah, I was cracking up because Joe had just I don't even think he took a sip.
He didn't even take a sip of that beer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe DeSantis. Let's give a shout out to you and your fish cleaning business. I don't know the name of it. Do you know the name of Joe's business?
Yeah, it's like Aquatic Creations, I think.
Thank you, Aquatic Creations, for this happy, healthy marriage. Without you taking one for the team and like those wet pants.
Yeah, I'll never forget. That was funny.
So I offered to buy them both a drink and a shot out of like humility. I was so embarrassed. Like, I'm like, this is why you don't go out by yourself. And Pat and I were reunited, and I thought his name was Max after I met him on MySpace, if I'm not aging us. Mm-hmm. And Pat's name on MySpace was Fat Pusto instead of being Pat Musto. Mm-hmm. And that is how true love comes together.
Yeah, that's when you could have theme songs on your profile.
Yeah, I had the Violent Femmes crazy on mine, and you still fell for me. Yeah. What was your song? Like a death metal band?
No, I had the Drips.
The Drips.
Yeah, the Drips.
Okay.
And I forget the song.
Should we create a MySpace page? We could make a reel of MySpace songs. No. Yes. All right. This is what I fell in love with, audience. This is my man. So what was your MySpace song? You want to hear mine? Okay. I want to hear everybody's MySpace song. Please send me, like, what was your page song? Don't you wish Instagram or TikTok would let you, like, go to the page and you could have, like, a theme song? Oh, my gosh. So I loved the Violent Femmes. And when I conquered my anxiety, it was the first concert we went to, and I was like, I'm going to meet them. I'm going to meet them.
Now you're friends with the drummer, right?
I love it, yes.
Instagram.
So through COVID, the drummer who plays the Weber Grill, John Sparrow, and I became like DM buddies, and I was like, I'm totally fangirling.
Yep.
You know, do you remember what my ringer was when you met me?
Yeah, it was like baby's got lumps or something.
My humps from the Black Eyed Peas. So when Pat would call me, it'd be like, my humps, my lovely lady lumps. Check me out. This was my song. But I liked the Violent Femmes, and then this became popular, and I liked it for that. Right. So please share with me your MySpace song. Or if you didn't have MySpace, like, what would you put on your website or whatever? Or if you were 20 years old, what would you have put on your website? So go circle back to your 20s and look at like what songs were popular. It's such a fun thing to like check out. Oh, well, thank you so much for like coming on and coming out of your comfort zone and doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Are you going to come back?
Yeah.
You'll come back like once a month and we can just talk about life? So I'm going to need your help to get Pat to come back. I need you to tell me in the notes like what you loved, or DM me some questions of what I should ask Pat next time. I mean, Pat is a vault of knowledge, and he has a lot of worldly experience, being a Navy vet, being married, having 2 daughters and a son. I mean, we have it all.
Yeah.
We're successful everywhere, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It wasn't always easy,
No.
but we're grateful for everything
they say
we have.
the journey, right, is the destination.
Oh, okay. The journey is the destination. I like that. Without your struggle, I always say life would be so boring. Like, I don't want plain food. I want food full of, like, flavor. That's why I think it's like life is like the flavor.
Yeah, food with flavor's good.
I do not like that like turkey burger.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I
If you
do.
can make a good turkey burger recipe, please share it with me. So I would like to leave the guest today with a card too. So we were at home in our body. So can you shuffle now? Knock on those cards 3 times, just so we can clear it and get a nice, clean message for our guest. I want to leave you with something inspirational today. Pat and I were on our walk, and this quote came to me that we just don't walk the trail, we blaze the trail. So I am inspiring you today to get out there and just don't worry about where that path is going to lead you in life. Blaze that path. Because I believe in you and I know that you can do it. And if this is the sign that you need, or if this is the encouragement you need, you got this. So I'm going to pick now. Okay. I feel like you're giving me this one. Like you want that one. Okay. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
And this is perfect. I follow my bliss. That would be a pretty tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I follow my bliss.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go follow my bliss home, and we're going to go spend some time with the kids, do our last 45-minute walk of the day, and we'll be back. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Pat. I love you so much. You mean the world to me. Thank you. Oh, thanks, honey. Namaste and hairspray, and follow that bliss.